Have you ever wondered if you really know how to guide your partner to experience the deepest levels of pleasure? It's a question many people keep to themselves. Maybe you're in a committed romantic relationship, yet there's that quiet uncertainty that sometimes crosses your mind. The truth is that a significant number of women admit to having faked an orgasm at some point in their lives, usually to avoid hurting their partner's feelings. So, how can you be sure that you are providing genuine pleasure? How do you move from doubt to confidence, knowing that you understand her body and what truly brings her to climax? The answer isn't hidden in some complicated secret technique, but in a simple and powerful method based on a fundamental understanding of female anatomy. It's about knowing not only what to stimulate, but also when and in what order. By the end of this video, you will understand the sequence, a key that can unlock a deeper level of intimacy and pleasure for both of you. This isn't about performance, it's about connection and shared satisfaction. Let's start with the most crucial point. First, we need to dispel the most damaging myth about female pleasure, the belief that penetration alone should be enough for a woman to reach orgasm. Research and surveys consistently show that this is not true for most women. In fact, it is estimated that about 80% of women do not reach orgasm from vaginal penetration alone. The reason is strictly anatomical. The most sensitive organ, the clitoris, is located externally. While some penetration positions may offer indirect stimulation, it is generally not enough. Additionally, the inner two-thirds of the vaginal canal have very few nerve endings. This canal is designed for childbirth, not for delivering intense pleasure. So, if your partner hasn't reached orgasm from penetration alone, it's nobody's fault. It's simply a matter of anatomy. The second myth we need to break is the obsession with penis size, especially length. Society has promoted the idea that longer is better. However, based on what we've just learned, this is completely wrong. The most sensitive areas for vaginal pleasure, the G-spot and the lower third of the canal, are located within the first 3 to 4 inches. An extremely long penis surpasses these areas and reaches a region with very little sensitivity. In fact, a penis that is too long can cause pain by repeatedly hitting the cervix at the back of the vaginal canal, causing cramps and discomfort instead of pleasure. What really matters, according to anatomy, is girth. A thicker penis can create more friction and pressure against the vaginal walls, especially in the G-spot area. It fills the space more fully, stimulating multiple nerve endings at the same time. If you've stayed with me this far, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Before continuing, I'd like to connect with our community. What city or country are you watching from? Write it in the comments. I love getting to know the people who truly care about their health, and this allows me to create content that is more useful and relevant for you and your region. Now let's focus on the absolute epicenter of female pleasure, the clitoris. For too long, this organ has been misunderstood or ignored, yet it is undoubtedly the most crucial element for female orgasm. The small button visible externally is just the tip of a much larger structure. Internally, the clitoris branches into a complex network of erectile tissue. To grasp its sensitivity, consider this. The glands of the clitoris, that small external part, contains over 8,000 nerve endings. This is more than double the number found in the glands of an entire penis. This remarkable nerve density makes it the most sensitive erogenous zone in the human body. This is not an opinion, it is a biological fact. For most women, direct and focused stimulation of the clitoris is not just helpful, it is essential for reaching orgasm. Understanding this is the first step. The clitoris is the primary source of orgasmic pleasure for the vast majority of women. Recognizing this and prioritizing its stimulation is essential if your goal is genuine satisfaction. Attention, gentleness, and a light touch are required, especially at the beginning. As arousal increases, pressure can be gradually intensified. But starting with focused, conscious clitoral stimulation is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Now let's move to the second area of pleasure, often surrounded by mystery, the G-spot. For years its existence was debated, but today we know it is a real and well-defined erogenous zone. The G-spot is not a magical button, but a region on the upper front wall of the vaginal canal, just a few centimeters from the entrance. If you visualize the vaginal canal like the face of a clock, with the clitoris at the 12 o'clock position externally, the G-spot would be inside, roughly in the same 12 o'clock position. When stimulated, it tends to swell and its texture feels slightly different, almost rougher compared to the rest of the vaginal walls. The type of stimulation it responds to is also specific. It's not about gentle caresses. It requires firm, consistent pressure. The come here motion with the fingers is the most commonly mentioned technique to stimulate this area effectively. I'd love to know which aspect of this topic interests you most. If you want to better understand female anatomy, write the number 1 in the comments. If your interest is improving intimate communication with your partner, write the number 2. This helps me create content that better fits the real needs of our community. Pleasure from G-spot stimulation is often described as a deeper, internal sensation, distinct from the intense and localized pleasure of the clitoris. For some women, this can lead to an extremely powerful orgasm, sometimes accompanied by female ejaculation. However, and this is crucial, stimulating the G-spot in isolation, without prior arousal, may not be pleasurable at all. For some women, it may even feel uncomfortable, similar to the urge to urinate. This is where the real secret comes in, the key that connects everything. It's not about choosing between the clitoris and the G-spot, but understanding their synergistic relationship. Think of it this way. The clitoris is the key, and the G-spot is a locked room filled with a different kind of pleasure. You cannot access that room without first using the key to open the door. Here's the sequence. Start by focusing on the clitoris through dedicated oral sex, manual stimulation, or the use of a toy. Your main goal is to increase her arousal by stimulating the clitoris. While doing this, blood flows throughout the entire genital area, including the internal structures of the clitoris and the G-spot itself. The area fills with blood, becomes sensitive, and is ready to receive pleasure. You are activating her entire pleasure system only when she is highly aroused. When the clitoris has been stimulated and is close to or has already reached a clitoral orgasm, is it the right moment to introduce G-spot stimulation? Now, because the door has been opened, the G-spot stops being just a patch of tissue. It becomes an intensely sensitive pleasure zone. Firm pressure that may have felt uncomfortable before now transforms into deep, intense pleasure. This combination is what creates an explosive experience. Sustained clitoral pleasure, combined with the internal pressure of the G-spot, can produce a blended orgasm, more powerful and encompassing. This sequence, clitoris first to build arousal, and then G-spot to open a new dimension of deep pleasure, makes all the difference. Rushing straight to the G-spot is like trying to force a lock, ineffective and frustrating. Using the clitoris as the key is the only way to unlock her full potential. For men watching who want to ensure their stamina is as impressive as their new technique, there is a simple, natural 7-second method that is helping thousands of men address the real scientific cause of performance issues, achieving greater firmness, endurance, and desire without risky pills or drastic lifestyle changes. It's truly eye-opening. The secret to unlocking a woman's deepest pleasure isn't a mystery, but a method based on understanding and sequence. Remember the key. The clitoris is the entrance. Focus on it first. Give it the time and attention needed to bring her arousal to its peak. When that door to pleasure is fully open, only then can you introduce the deep and powerful sensation of the G-spot. This 1-2 combination is what can transform your sexual intimacy. But remember, this is just a technical guide. Anatomy is only part of the story. True pleasure is built on a foundation of trust, communication, and affection. The most important sexual organ is the brain. Talk to your partner, ask what she likes, listen to her body and her words. Every woman is unique, and only through open communication can you truly learn to please each other. This knowledge isn't about scoring points or showing off. It's about offering generous, informed pleasure, the deepest way to connect with someone you care about. When she feels truly understood and satisfied, the intimacy you share will reach a level you may never have imagined. Thank you for joining us. If this video helped you learn something new, please give it a like so more people can access this transformative information, and subscribe for more similar content. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future video. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What has been your experience? Let's continue this important conversation to improve our intimate relationships.